Shalom Bayit is another story in Candle, Feather, Wood, and Spoon, and its characters are so near and dear to my heart, and I think you'll fall in love with them as well. It is a story that started out very different when I first wrote it, and over the years of the pandemic, it evolved and grew and blossomed into something that looks very different. And I'm so excited about how this story came to be and how it turned out. I'm going to read just a little excerpt from the story and then the questions at the end of the story. There were 2 glasses wrapped in handkerchiefs at their feet, and the rabbi was talking about the meaning of breaking the glass at the wedding. She talked about how at the height of our joy, we still remember the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, how we still remember the suffering in the world. She said it also represents the breaking open of a cocoon and the birthing of a new heaven and a new earth through their union. Isaac and Mateo simultaneously reached and took each other's hand, and each stepped on a glass together. Loud bursts of Mazel Tov surrounded them, and in the din of cheer and shouts, Isaac and Mateo spoke to each other at the same time. "Let's make a stand," Isaac said. "Let's not leave," Mateo said. And in that spooky telepathic way they had, they perfectly understood one another. There was so much brokenness out there, as they were both all too aware. So they held fast to each other's hands and decided to stay under the chuppah. This would be their protest. This is how they would start their marriage, in solidarity with all who suffered. They each felt that while they were committing to one another, they were also committing to a covenant they had individually made with the world. They thought of Julia Butterfly Hill, who lived in a California redwood for 738 days to prevent loggers from sawing it down. And they pictured Greta Thunberg, whose solitary protests in front of the Swedish parliament grew into a worldwide movement. Leaning toward one another with their foreheads touching, Mateo whispered, "This is our home, open, inviting, beautiful, and filled with love." "This is a microcosm of what should be," Isaac whispered back. He thought of the countless complicated computer models he had created compared to the simplicity of the chuppah, the wholeness of this moment. "For the sake of Shalom Bayit," Mateo said, and they both knew that he wasn't just referring to peace in their own home, but also to peace upon the earth, small and blue and beautiful in that eternal silence where it floats. It's a really rich story, and I'm so excited for you to travel the path with these characters. Some of the questions at the end are, breaking the glass at a wedding recalls the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, so that even at the height of our joy, we remember there's pain and brokenness in the world. In other words, it's a form of protest. This story imagines the chuppah as a symbol of protest. What other Jewish symbols could be used in protesting brokenness and injustice? Another question, what protest movement inspires you? Question 3, Shiloh and their friends use the chuppah to each make a private commitment to have a deep, loving relationship with their self. What other ways could the chuppah be used? And finally, in this story, we see Mateo and Isaac express their love for each other, their love for their work, their love for community, and their love for pursuing justice. What are the ways that you express love toward others, work, community, and the world? Again, I look forward to sharing all of these stories and discussing them with you and with your communities. Thank you.